Shailesh, it is wonderful to have you on Floor Talk today. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here today, Judy.
My pleasure. So now I want to start off by talking about the company. Tell me about your vision at Maya and how you're achieving it.
So we started off as a payment provider for both consumers and for corporates to accept digital payments. And the idea really was to drive financial inclusion by helping people to pay and accept payments digitally. But very soon we realized that we need to go much deeper than that, because that's like financial inclusion, but at a very superficial level. Because in the Philippines, you'll be surprised that less than 50% of the people, adults, have a basic bank account. And access to credit to grow your business or to be able to do things individually is extremely constrained. So we decided that we're going to become a digital bank and put that at the heart of our payments business. So what we want to be, our vision really is to be the preferred digital bank for all Filipinos, whether it's an individual consumer or whether it's a micro or a small enterprise. And that's the journey we started off on. We got the license in 21. Within 6 months, we launched the digital bank. And since 22 onwards, we've been growing that. I'm really pleased with the way consumers have responded. We have over nearly 4.5 million consumers who have opened a saving account. A lot of them first-time ever bank account. 1.5 million people who have taken a loan from us. More than 50% of them for the first time ever borrowing from a formal financial institution. So building the credit footprint. And similarly, on the small and micro enterprise side of the house, we started providing them with business deposits, with access to short-term working capital, so to really help propel, these very important vectors in the economy by providing something that's intuitive, that's something they can relate to, be very comfortable in accessing, and really start thriving and building out their own financial footprint and well-being.
And what would you say sets Maya apart from other fintech players in the region?
I would say, first of all, is a really deep understanding of the customer, whether the customer is an individual consumer or a micro or small enterprise, and using that deep understanding into creating a technology architecture that can then serve our set of customers. And to give you an example, like I said, over here we're talking about people who have never banked with a formal financial institution, who've never taken a loan. And these are people who are going to start the journey with very small micro amounts. And to give you an example, 1 peso, which is 2 cents. So our architecture is designed that you can open a bank account with as little as 2 cents with no minimum fees. And the technology is designed such that we want to make even that 1 peso transaction at least break even, if not marginally positive, profitable for ourselves. So the whole technology design that has been done by us is to support really small micro transactions and high velocity transactions. The second is the user interface is designed in such a way that it is absolutely intuitive for someone who's for the first time interacting with a financial service institution, should feel that they are welcome, that it is something that they're extremely comfortable. So it's really easy to KYC yourself digitally in literally seconds and open your bank account, for example. And the same thing holds for micro and small enterprises. They want to set up payments, they can do that really quickly through a portal. They're able to see the transactions, they can see the business deposit, get access to working capital. So I would say it's the deep insight of customers along with the technology capability. And the last leg is data. We, from the very start, knew that in the Philippines, the access to formal data, and here there's too much data. In the Philippines, the other way, there's very little data. And the data is in micro bits, it's fractured, it's fragmented. So how do you put it together so that I can get a better customer view and translate that into credit models, into fraud models? So setting up our data models and analytics capability using AI and others is something that we have done, which I believe is fairly unique, and I think sets us up for playing in the emerging markets in a big way.
Now, Maya has been instrumental in promoting financial inclusion in the Philippines. Right. What challenges have you faced in reaching the unbanked and underbanked, and how have you overcome them?
So first of all, we add another category to that, which we call unhappily banked. Because even those who have a bank account, most of them are so poorly served that they're actually quite unhappily banked, because the access that they have is just a basic payroll account at times at best, really not much more service from the financial institutions. I think the first part that helped us was a very progressive regulator. The central bank, BSP, has been extremely progressive in the way they have thought through and helped and worked with digital players. So things like, the whole KYC process is completely digital. And, they've enabled that, they acknowledge that, and help to do that. So that helps us to onboard customers in a very fast, with large volumes. In fact, there are days when we have done like over 70,000 customers in one day onboarding themselves with Maya. The second part of it is creating licenses like the digital bank license. So we were one of the six banks, which was one of the six players which was given a digital bank license, after which the BSP put a 3-year moratorium. So creating a digital bank license and recognizing that the traditional banking industry can only go so far or has gotten only so far, so they need an alternative model to get to the unbanked, underbanked, and also, like I said, the unhappily banked. So the regulatory environment is great. And then on top of that, we have used, like I said, our deep understanding of customers, which we had built out through our payment engines, and translating that into far deeper, wider set of financial services. So customers, instead of, for payments, you'll only put the amount that you want to use to make a payment. But the second we are a bank, they start saving. We help customers to grow their savings month on month. We give them small loans, and then as they build their credit history and the credibility, we give them larger and larger, for example, access to loans. So that has really helped us with our technology, with our insights, and like I mentioned, with our data capabilities in a regulatory environment that is very supportive to really help us drive that. So we're still at the early stages, I would say, of creating deep financial inclusion, but I think we're off to a good start.
And finally, Shailesh, tell me, can you cite some innovations that you have been driving in the Philippines? What are you planning soon?
So I'll just give you an example, right? So when we introduced the savings bank account, we realized that in the Philippines, since a lot of them are going to be first-time savers, we really need to be able to help them, as I said, set up an account with as little as 1 peso, 2 cents, build it out. And then on top of that, we said, okay, what is our understanding of the customers? These customers are customers who at times are going to be cash positive, so they will deposit and grow their savings. But there are times when they need to renovate a house or buy a laptop for their kid or for their work, they will need access to funds. So we set up a saving account, which we call the high engagement account, to say that you get a base interest rate that you earn. Over and above that, if you do a transaction, if you pay your electricity bill, we'll give you a bonus interest rate on your savings. If you pay your water bill, we'll give you a bonus interest rate. If you do the purchases that you need to do, we'll give you further bonus interest rates. And so that encourages people to do the transactions they need to do, which gives them more interest rate, which they love, the fact that they will earn more by spending more with us or using us more, which felt a lot counterintuitive to a lot of people, that you're getting people to save, but you're asking them to spend to earn more. But we realized that customers loved it. They felt that they were in control of their finances. And what it did was, it gave us so much insight into you. Once we know what kind of a payment behavior you do on your utility bills, what kind of purchases you do, all that goes into a credit scoring model. And based on that, we are able to then give you access to credit. So when you need credit, you automatically see that appearing in your consumer app, that you're now eligible for a consumer loan or a short-term line of credit. So that innovation of putting together savings, loans, payments into one kind of an interface has been extremely well received. And the same thing goes for micro merchants and small enterprises. You set up digital payments acceptance with us, we see the payments flow, we see what your working capital needs are. On the back of that, we then give you short-term working capital. And we've already done that to nearly 25,000 micro merchants. And we expect that number to double over the next kind of quarter. So a number of innovations that the team has done, working closely, integrating our tech, product, data capabilities.
Well, it's been wonderful to talk with you, Shailesh.
My pleasure.
Thanks for joining me on Floor Talk today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here today.